your Racing Pigeon Club of Ontario. Here with your Monday Night Family Show, where we talk anything and everything to do with pigeons, pigeon racing, pigeon keeping, pigeon care, pigeon health, everything to do with pigeons. I'm going to make sure we're live on Facebook and YouTube. Send it over to you, Ryan. Go ahead.
Good evening. Happy Monday. This is the first Monday of the 2022 season. I think we've been doing this now a year on Mondays. We've been pretty consistent on the Mondays. Congratulations, Richard. Congratulations, Leah. And congratulations to you, the followers. Remember, all we ask you to do is like our page, subscribe our page, follow to our page, like our YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's the most important thing. And share this page with all of your friends, not the people with just pigeons, but all of your friends, because you never know who you're going to get interested in the pigeon hobby sport, have it be fancies, racing, or just pigeons on the street in general.
Yeah. That is correct, Ryan. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Want to say good evening to everybody and a good Happy New Year to you all. Let's see who's in the house. We have Mike Vandriak. Hello, hello. James Timothy Walters, Jeff Henderson, Troy is in the house, Michael Peebler, hello. Heather Green, nice to see you on. Ronald Yeats is in the house. Balkan Donick, hello, nice to see you. Scott Hall, Tony DeCesare, hello, hello. What do we have on YouTube? Anybody? We have a couple people on the line on YouTube. Don't be shy, guys. Post your pigeon or pigeon-related questions in the comments, whether it has to do with one-loft racing or pigeon racing or winter care or health. You name it, we are here for you for the next couple hours. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, we got a big show. Kind of a fun show tonight. We're gonna do a matchmaker with Plugger. That's gonna be fun. We got the three beautiful hens, and you know, Richard, I will say I'm going to give you this compliment. Very good conditioning on some of these hens that you've put together here. The body weight is excellent. They're not too heavy. They feel right. They feel like they've just finished their nice race season. They got good muscle. The feather quality is super. I have been handling pigeons from people this last week, and I am going like this. Man, I shake my head. These pigeons are like fat oafs. And you see, you just pick the pigeon up, just puff it. It's unbelievable. Guys, now's the time. Lighten them up. Just a little bit. Bless you. Whoever was that, bless you.
So are you saying that perhaps we overindulge them a tad, or we're not feeding the correct things during the winter time? Is that maybe?
Leah, listen, I am 280 pounds. I'm now on a diet, okay? I'm going to get down to about 240 because this is getting bad. I'm feeling like those overweight pigeons. If you're overweight, you're not going to perform good. You're not. You don't feel good. I don't feel good. And there's no way the pigeon can lay eggs properly. There's no way. There's no way. You know what? Get any wild pigeon that's out there right now. Any wild one. It's minus 15 here today. They ain't going to feel like most birds that are man-kept. Man-kept means just load the fat onto them, get them all big and oafy. They're perfect for when you go to those shows. You know, when you go to a pigeon show, you see the birds puffing right out. And, oh, man, look at how big this thing's huge. It's bigger than the turkey I ate. But anyways.
Well, I know if you keep your pigeons in good body weight through the winter and make them handle in the winter like they do in the summer season when they're flying and working, take those same pigeons to a pigeon show, let's say a racing pigeon show, and I've done it, and they say, oh, my birds are in perfect nice weight, but they want to feel them fat and chubby, like it's like, and I'm going, wait a minute, these are racing pigeons. You don't need fat and chubby, you know.
I like going to the pigeon shows and looking at the fancy pigeons, right? I enjoy that, and I really enjoyed going to the Olympiad and seeing that whole setup. I do not have any interest in showing my racing pigeons at all.
when I hear guys wanting to listen, when they're going through birds and they're feeling fat, chubby birds, and there's, I don't know, 50 birds or whatever there is, and then all of a sudden they get one that feels like it's been flying all winter.
In the right weight,
Yeah,
it gets thrown out.
they don't like it because it's
Because it's in condition. That's
but
right.
the pigeon should be in condition in the winter, and just
I
you got a little can like this of feed, a feed can,
yeah.
about that much. That should feed 30 pigeons once a day.
Yeah.
That's it in the winter, right? They should be just crawling. They should be eating your shoelaces. 100%. They should be in that pail. And the odd one, when you walk through the section, maybe you should step on the odd one's head. Do you know what I'm saying? They're that hungry. They're that, it's like, come on, move out of the way, boys.
You mean
you make a mistake. I don't mean purposely step on his head.
You mean
Okay.
shuffle?
Shuffle your feet.
Do the shuffle. We have some questions from our audience. Heather Green asks, what causes babies to be sprayed leg or spayed leg? Sprayed leg? Spread out?
Legs.
Open leg. What causes?
This is funny. That's a great question. Thank you, Heather. I've seen a lot of people, I don't know if they're new flyers or what they are. They're doing these videos, okay? And they're going into their boxes and they're showing these birds. They're on wire cages. They got nest bowls with nothing in them. Or they got 2 feathers in them. Or they got 3 pieces of pine needle. People, pigeons need to make nests, okay? If you're not going to allow them to make a nest, you better give them a good nest pad to make their babies in. If they do not have this, that's how the legs spread out and you get those.
The young ones are always sliding and always
opening their legs. I'm going to say I don't know if I ever remember one at our place that's ever had that. I don't even think I've ever seen that here.
Or it could be very inbred.
Yeah.
And they come out
deformed legs or something.
I've had a couple where the legs come like right out like this. It's like, and I think inbreeding could be a problem too.
But most people aren't.
Too inbred.
Most people aren't getting to that level. But anyways, again, make sure the birds have enough nesting materials. And we've done whole shows on it. And ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say it, pigeons do not make nesting material out of shavings. Okay, you will never see a pigeon go and pick up shavings and build a nest with it. It's just not going to happen. They like leaves, straw, weeds, pine needles, materials like that,
Perhaps on next week's show, we should revisit proper nesting materials. I think I've got some video footage from last year when you showed what you put down for the pigeons to assist them in building their nests. What do you have there? And then the questions are coming in. So
there's your nest pad, okay? There's your nest bowl. Now, I've seen people just
hold up to the light.
Yeah, let's light in. Let's light in. But I've seen people use these nest bowls with no pad. You can't use it. It's just bad for the birds. These were made for nest pads, just like that.
What I like about these bowls is if you take that pad out, you can see it's very airy underneath.
Well, you can see through it.
So,
you can see my hand through it. You can see me waving.
So the air gets underneath.
It's breathing.
Keeps it breathes. Keeps it dry.
And you know what else is great about these?
Wow.
If you drop them,
they don't crack and break.
And you want to know what's great? You can stack 20 of these together and lift it. Stack 10 clay bowls together.
Oh,
you can't even lift it.
And the other thing with a clay bowl is they seem to disintegrate after a while. They get crumbly.
I don't know.
But these are
the best pads.
The best. Ryan said pine needles, leaves, weeds. But you got to make sure those pine needles are dry. Those long pine needles. You get them underneath the tree, rake them up. Even if you put them in a burlap sack in the winter, they'll freeze dry. If they're a little damp, they'll freeze dry, right? Okay. Don't be. I had one guy say to me, "Oh, pine needles, that's a good idea. There's a lot of pine trees around my place. I'm going to go break branches off and take the needles off." No, those needles are green. They got to be dry. When they're brown?
Well, just like your nest pad.
Yeah.
And another thing, I've seen companies Like that nest pad there you have is the very best one. I've seen companies, not knocking names or whatever, but high-end feed companies, they've got felt pads.
Yeah.
They're garbage.
They look almost like a cotton bat or something.
They're garbage. The birds scratch at them, wear them out.
They get caught. Their nails get caught in them. And
it's a simple nest pad, and they work great. Also, we used to have those grass nest bowls. They were good. Hard to find them, but
oh yeah, they were very good.
Guys, if you want your babies to have good straight legs, as they say, give them a bed to sleep in. Don't make them sleep on the floor or in the bowl with nothing down. No good.
That's sometimes they.
Hopefully that helps that answer your question there, Heather. Let me get to we got more questions here, Dad. Just 1 second. Kendon Sobers asks question: Can pigeon sickness be transmitted from the parents into the eggs when they lay?
I believe so.
I don't know if it's parents into the eggs or is it when they hatch they give it to them. But I think that it's in them. There's somewhere there it's in them. And
I know one year, last year, or the year before, one fellow said his whole first round of youngsters, they all
had it.
Garbage. They all got thin. They just died in the nest bowl.
Yeah.
And
just as they were feathering out, just as they were feathering out to weaning after about 10 days, he lost them all.
But then he said the next round from the very same group, same way fed, didn't add anything to the water, just same. They were all perfect. They came out perfect.
It's funny. We don't know exactly how everything spreads, but I know she spreads somehow, and I think it goes. I think it's in the egg. I think it's the parents pass it on. I think it's there.
Circle virus, they call it, I think.
Whatever these viruses is, but that's what I think. Go ahead, Leah.
Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Let me get you guys back on solo here. Let's see, who else do we have? Okay, so we got to Heather's question about the spade legs. Hello to Robbie Taylor. Jay-Z is in the house. Hello. Tracy, nice to see you on. Okay, so then Kendon says, so a sick bird can make a sick egg, then the youngsters will hatch sick.
Yeah, I would think.
It's within them. If they don't pass it through the egg, if the parents have it, they'll pass it through the babies as they start pumping. And then normally you'll see it come out in the babies. As the baby gets older, once the babies start getting a little stressed, the parents back off a bit of the feeding per se. The parents start getting off of them and they get a little chilly. Or you take them away and you wean them. Eventually the stress climbs on and bang, that's when you see it.
Stress is a big thing.
Stress is the killer.
Yeah. Tony Chesroy says depending on the sickness. Getting back to judging, Michael Peevler, a judge who judges the racing pigeon at a show has to be a racing homer pigeon judge, not just a pigeon judge. Well, I think maybe what Michael's saying is those that judge for looks or composition, you're judging for different things. A racing pigeon guy, I think you're looking for completely different things than a show pigeon guy, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I know one thing. When I go to a pigeon show, I'm going to close my eyes. I won't look at one pigeon. First, put them in my hands. Let's feel who's buoyant and who has the muscle tone. When I feel 500 fat pigs, guess what? The owner didn't keep them in racing condition. If you're getting, but I look at it and they do. I see judges. They do it the reverse way. They look and they look at them. What are we looking at? I don't know. You know what? I don't even get into judging racing pigeons. I could never do it. I would be the wrong guy.
I think what Michael said is right. It has to be a racing pigeon person. But who is the racing pigeon person that's judging these birds? Really. I'm just,
Yeah, that's why I'm dying to, when I go to the Olympiad, if I can go to the Olympiad, I want to sit down with a judge and say to him, hey, Gary, why are you a judge here? How did you get this gig, right? Well, he said, well, I won the Olympiad 12 times. You know, I've won 3 nationals. I've won this. I've won that. You know, I've won in racing. I've won in showing. You know, I'm a good car driver too. Give me some things. Let me know what gives you the qualification. You know what I'm saying?
Do they have to write a test or something? But you're right. What gives pigeon judges the qualification, regardless if it's fancies or whatever we're talking about? But how do they qualify? Like, do they apply for it? For those of you who know the pigeon show circuit, Guido, if you're on, let us know. How did you become a judge? Did somebody just appoint you? Like I now pronounce you judge
No.
of the frills. I don't know. How does it work?
Well, the fancy pigeons, that's a different bag of potatoes, right? Because, I mean, that's just something totally different. But if you look at racing pigeons, I'm talking about the Olympiad, right? That's what I'm talking about judging.
I know.
Racing pigeon people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those other categories, to me, that looks like they kind of go off a picture and all these things, and I don't know.
I told
Oh,
you,
God.
you go
We're
to
gonna
a
have the
pigeon
show
show.
guys come to us.
Yeah, you go to a pigeon show, and again, the racing pigeon category. Hey, buddy, you got a nice bird there, eh? How much is it raced? Well, it flew 1 race, 113 miles. Oh yeah, let me handle that. Can I handle it? Feels like a bag of shit. You know what I mean? Like.
No,
You know,
meanwhile,
he liked it because it looked good. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was a slate with a white flight, or you know, a red checker with a blue split. I don't know.
But when is a racing pigeon considered a racing pigeon? Is it just because it was bred from 2 racing pigeons? When does it become a racing pigeon? Doesn't it become a racing pigeon when it starts to race?
Well, it can be a racing pigeon, maybe.
I mean,
maybe it never raced. But when the guy, if he races racing pigeons, they have a certain confirmation. In other words, hey, I like your pigeon in the cage there. It's at the show today. Yeah, it flew 1 race, 113 miles.
That's what I'm
okay.
saying.
And then you handle it up, and its tail goes up like
Hold
this.
on. You know what's a classic?
That's what I'm saying. Does that make it a racing pigeon because it flew in 1 race? In my opinion, the way the Olympiad does it, yes, they do judge the pigeons based on, is it a pretty pigeon, blah, blah, whatever at the end. But that's after these pigeons have qualified and made it into the end. They've flown the races. They are, quote unquote, racing pigeons that also look good or are a nice form.
Or they have a confirmation.
Confirmation. Right.
That's right. You can have the top-notch racing pigeon.
We get that.
He won a lot of races.
We get that.
But he's got a keel this deep.
Right.
He's got a short back. His tail goes up like this. And when he goes to the Olympiad, they're going to just throw that thing out.
Hold on. Warning. Hold on. If you see anybody on like YouTube or Facebook and they say to you they're selling colored homers, don't buy them unless you just want to have colored pigeons that haven't raced. Because most of the time when you see the word colored and homer put together, they don't race them. Now, I'm sure they're going to get a lot of people say, well, I do race my colored homers and I post them like that. Well, I'm just saying, steer clear.
Okay, Sonia Vandermeer, and she does race colored pigeons. She has lots of different colored pigeons. She does have some blue bars, but that's not what we're talking about when we say colored homers. We're not talking about actual legitimate racing pigeon people who do have a tendency to fly more colored birds than they do, you know, blue bars or blue checkers.
Yeah.
Peter Vraze is another one, right?
That's right.
Not what we mean by colored homers.
I know when we went to Poland, was it, to the big exhibition there we went?
Yep.
And they got colored pigeons, yes. But you go and say, okay, I want to handle that grizzle, handle it. Oh, boy, this is bad. Okay. Handle that over there. Handle this one. We went to Sonia's thing.
We handle bags of shit everywhere.
Yeah, right. So you go over and say, he said to me, I'm going to go over and handle these colored grizzles, whatever they were.
Sonia's grizzles.
Says, okay, go and enjoy some shit. Okay, he went and handled it. Then he had a little joke with me. He said, you want to handle some shit? I said, okay, let me handle it. And I went, ooh.
Yeah, they were nice. They were super nice.
They're super nice. So some people, they concentrate on that and they make a good they really work at it,
Yeah,
and they work at it, right?
She works at it
Yeah.
like Peter does, and they enjoy the little bit of color or war paint, but they never call them colored homers.
No.
I've actually never heard any of them talk to you even ever about color. They're always their race birds, right? These are that one this and that one that and that one that. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
grizzle. That's about it. They actually don't really acknowledge the color.
Okay, getting back to the comments and questions. Mike Vandriak, a member of the old acting club, made all our nest bowls out of cement. Jay-Z says, don't use hay, it holds moisture. Heather
Yep.
says, it did, thanks always. Fun to learn new things. Robert Hamilton, hello. Troy wants to know, Mike, what year was that? In the 80s and 90s.
And a reminder, concrete holds dampness.
Unless he put 3 or 4 holes in the bottom, lets it breathe.
Lets it breathe. But I'm probably not going to go with that one, unless Mike can back this up with a nice photo.
They could be heavy.
They could be pretty heavy. I mean, it depends on how thick he's running that concrete. I know, you got to get them at least 6-inch bowls, 6 inches around. Get them right around. So you can't reinforce your boxes too. Anyways, good one, Mike.
Remember last year when we had the great newspaper wrapping debate, and then that nice gentleman from England showed us how to wrap them, and you tried to do it? Do you remember that? We should have a nest bowl wrapping competition between you and Loft Manager Richard.
No, we don't want to do that.
Listen, you know what Richard's doing with nest bowls and wrapping? He just throws them at me. The only thing good for newspaper is what we call fire starter.
Tony Cesare says vaccination for PMV immunity is passed along in the egg.
There you go.
I'd agree.
Troy says he has a few cement nest bowls. David Tracy, hello. Tony Cesare, there's no standard in racing pigeons. I guess the standard's like the book, right? Like where it says what. Well, that would make sense though, because they're athletes. So I don't know. Anyway,
there has to be a standard.
Mike Vandriak, why does Ryan grade the auction birds in the hand? Why do we do that?
I grade them because 90% of the people who buy them don't have an opportunity to come and handle them. So what I do is I give you what my feel is on them, what my take is. And, I get pretty lucky. I get people that purchase pigeons, Americans, Canadians, people from Taiwan or China, then message me back and they say, boy, you were harder on that bird than it was. It is super nice. Boy, it's even nicer than you graded it. Well, sure. I never grade them at perfection. I grade them on how I feel and how they are, right?
We grade them. We grade them as to give our buyers or potential buyers a tool, so they can see what the loft manager thinks of the pigeon after, like I said, Ryan's handled, I don't even know how many thousands and thousands and thousands of pigeons in his lifetime. It's just a buyer's guide. That's all. It's not because we're awarding the pigeon a medal. We're just using it as help for potential buyers. That's all.
If I can say something, the fellow before that says there's not a standard for racing pigeons. Okay, and I don't know who he is, but there is definitely a standard for racing pigeons. Handle so many winners, so many in the top, let's say 10% of pigeons that fly. They all have that same characteristic: conformation, keel, body, wing length, vibration.
There's a lot of similarities.
And there's a lot of similarities. There are standards.
Yeah.
Those are standards. And as we get our pigeon fingers, and your fingers get to memorize that standard.
Hold on.
Feeling.
I figured it out.
What?
You just said it. You hit the nail on the head. We're here in Canada.
Right.
Okay. I call Canada a third world country in pigeon flying.
Right.
Okay. Can you go right now today, get in your car, go and handle an Olympiad winner? Can you go handle a national winner? Can you handle a young bird national winner? Can you have a middle distance national winner? Can you go and handle all these winners here in this country? You can't. They don't exist. We have no standard because we really have no consistent racing. Nothing is done consistently in the areas all around. Nothing's consistent.
What I'm saying is.
So you can never handle the people here do not have the ability to handle these styles of pigeons. You just don't have it.
But if you compare, for example, my point winner that I flew.
Yes.
Right. Handle that one.
Correct.
Handle Frank Eichhorn's winning point pigeon.
Yes.
Handle
Tony
Elvis winning pigeon. Handle it.
Right.
Handle Rick Fife
right.
Handle him. He had a winning pigeon here.
Right.
Just I'm talking right here.
Yeah, the average speed.
Okay,
right.
talk about Ian Sybil.
Right.
Handle his winning pigeon that was here. Okay, handle all those pigeons. They all have that same characteristic or standard characteristic, right?
Right.
And just keep handling and feel that in your fingers. Feel it. Get the memory of it.
And I agree. Right? I agree with that. I agree with that.
So
but in all honesty, you will not see those pigeons normally at shows. Because there's no point in stressing your bird out, dragging them to a show, dragging them into some auditorium room that's got too much shavings, too little air. And you know what? It's 105 degrees in the building. It's minus 20 outside. Good way to really screw up your birds.
Well, I know we went.
So you'll never feel
we went to the Woodstock show.
Just a minute. I got more comments here. Come on. I don't want to be here all night to not get to people's comments. Tony Elvis, there are some good pigeons that have fancy colors, but always let the results select your pigeons. Even great handling pigeons are sometimes worthless. Always remember, not all good-looking women are good in the kitchen. Speaking of Tony Elvis, he will be on one of these Mondays here in January. Is it Monday with Tony, or we're doing Tuesdays with Tony? With Tony, he will be on anyway. You have to talk to him.
I gotta let him. Tony, I need you to send in your resume. I just have to look it over.
I think what Tony said is 100% right. Now there are people that keep racing pigeons, and they have a confirmation in their hand. They have this confirmation. Oh, this thing is perfect. But like Tony said, they can't fly around the block.
Yeah,
right. But the ones that fly around the block are the ones that usually have that perfect confirmation. There's the odd dud that is deep, that has a tail that goes up, is everything goes like this. He's a tank, he's carcassy, and guess what? He won a North Bay, he won a Hearst, and he also won a Long Lac. Like, holy shit.
You were at sea?
Yeah, he's very lucky. But I mean, out of 10 birds,
hold on,
he was maybe one that.
And you're being honest. You went one time there in the 80s or whatever. You went to Dave Rogers, and that's what you handled. Was that not correct?
That's right.
That was correct.
Yeah.
That was actual hands-on proof. You handle it. He handed you the bird. When you put it in your hands, you said, "Boy, what a piece of shit this was."
Was that 1980?
I don't want to give the date.
But anyways, yeah, we handled birds. We handled birds, and I was handling birds, and said, "Oh, this is nice. Oh, yeah, this is nice." And I'm learning as well, right? Dave Rogers was an excellent flyer.
Yeah.
Then he handled me. I can still remember a checker cock. He said, "What do you think of this one?" I said, "Wow, this is a piece of shit." I said, "Why in the heck would you keep this thing? Feel it." And he said, "Yeah, it won me a North Bay, Hearst, and a Long Lac."
Well, there you go.
Right. So, but you know what I'm saying.
Moving along with you.
Back to the comments. Henry says, "I think the standard on racing pigeons is the race result." I would agree with you. Absolutely, Henry. Moving down here, Aces High Loft says the basket is of course, Facebook cutting off the comments, but I think the basket is the key there. Heather Green, do parents pass on all vaccinations onto the babies or just certain ones? Then we have more comments on Facebook, and I have to get over to comments on YouTube, Dad. So question from Heather, do parents pass on all vaccinations onto the babies or just certain ones? 1 minute or less.
I would say it has to. If the parents are vaccinated, it has to have something to do with passing that on.
Listen, you can get imports in. We imported those birds from Mark Wacky years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They were all vaccinated, double vaccinated, triple vaccinated, quadra vaccinated.
Yeah.
We bred out of the babies. In the first round, 70 babies, we put them all on the ground.
Yeah.
Half of them went in the ground themselves, and the other half we ended up having to.
I believe a lot of times when you bring birds in from Europe, you really got to give them 1 year to settle down in your loft. You take them right away and you may have a bad situation with young ones. And then you may condemn the birds. You may say, holy jumping. I got 2 rounds of young ones. 3 of them were just, they got limp wing, they can walk, they got all that. Gosh almighty, I had to kill them. Yeah, they're garbage. No, they're not. They had to have a chance to adapt, I believe.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of adaptation in the imports. I think when you bring imports in, it doesn't matter where you get them from. Try and give them a good solid. The first year's free with them. First year you don't even judge, and then you go from there.
What was that year we brought birds in? I can't.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. It was from
We brought
Dean
the Dean Pallets in 2004. I brought in 12 or 14 pair. The first year, we only got 9 youngsters out of all those birds. Everything was in the garbage. Everything.
You asked, Tony Elvis came over that time,
Yeah.
and those things had such bad young bird sickness.
Oh.
And we went, I don't know how many.
We had those with the Aussie birds.
I don't know how many we knocked off because it was just, and we started flying with only how many?
Yeah.
Nine or something?
No, that year,
9 or 12?
that year in particular, I think we ended up having only 30 birds. And that was the year we won the Englehart Open, and we had a good year. But boy,
the ones that were left,
getting to that part of the good year
was quite depressing.
Oh yeah, I think we had them locked in the loft for 6 or 7 weeks. Like,
oh, they were bad.
We would look at each other every day and say, okay, well, what do you think? Should we just go out there and eliminate them, or we just let old Mother Nature play its play the cards?
The worst, yeah.
Let me get over to YouTube. Want to say hello and Happy New Year to Stan. Stan got his Pioneer Motivational Calendar. Awesome, Stan. We hope to see a photo of you beside your Pioneer Motivational Calendar, and hopefully it helps to motivate you all year long. Stephen, hello. Stan has a question. How many youngsters should I raise from each pair to really test them and see if they're any good? And how many years should I give the pair to prove their worth?
Well, that's a good question, because Stan, I had somebody ask me yesterday that same question. They bought some auction birds, and they're going to take 1 round out of them. They're going to judge them on 1 round. He's a new flyer. I says, no, give yourself. He wants to fly in the 1 loft race, and he wants to have a round of babies to fly. You know what? Put them together February, first week or second week of February, and let them go right till May. Let them hatch out the first week of May. I said to the guy, you get 3 rounds, you get 4 rounds, good. Let them go down, let them raise on their own and test. That's the best way. You got to give yourself a shot here. I mean, if you take a year or 2 or 3 out of a pair, you're going to know. You're going to know after the second year. You'll know. If the first rounds are no good, the second rounds are no good, you're not seeing the quality and the birds don't perform, switch the pair for the next year and see how the pairs do on the second year. If you switch them and they do nothing again, more than likely it's time to move them on.
Or maybe repair them, right?
Well, yeah, if they don't do nothing the first year, right, repair them the second year.
If he's going to have 3 or 4 rounds.
And if you see a glimpse in one of the youngsters as a yearling, you go, okay, well, hey, wait, maybe these birds mature a little differently. You got to start judging.
You judge a pair right off the bat and how they take care of their youngsters.
Agreed.
How they feed them.
Yes.
You keep them both the same weight, right? And you'll see that right away. How they perform as parents, right? That's one sign. Take the young ones away, like I said, 16 to 20 days old. Wean them off. So you give the parents a chance if they're going to go down on another round, right?
Yeah, that's right. You can judge them the whole way through, and then you see the quality even in the babies. How did the babies do? Were the babies sick? Were the babies strong? Were the baby? You notice, out of that pair, they're always lazy. They're the only ones that sit up on that roof. I get everybody up, and that one out of that pair is always there. The next round, the next baby out of that round is the same way.
When you wean them, how the young ones pick up on the feed, how they go to the water, how they respond when you put your hand in the basket when you wean them.
Yeah.
Right? In cold weather, I don't have young ones now, but in cold weather right now, I always put a sheave of straw in, a sheave. I don't take it apart. I just lay it in there, the sheave. The youngsters can go on it.
Yeah.
Right? They cuddle together.
Steven says that he likes to use dried tobacco leaf stems for nesting material. Guys, have you ever used the tobacco leaves or the stems?
We don't have it here.
No, I guess we can't get it here. We never seen it around here.
We can't get it here. And if you see them in bundles, they sell them. They're so expensive.
I know another good product is peanut shells.
Not for nest bowls, but for the floor.
Oh, for the floor, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this fellow's using. Oh, yeah, for the nest bowls. Yeah.
I know.
They're got to be, I guess, nice and dry.
Oh yeah, you can buy them. I seen them. They sell them there at Jed's or whatever. And they sell bundles of them.
Oh,
So that's weird. Why we can't have them here? Are they like illegal here or something? Like Canada's against tobacco stems? What's the deal? Why can't we get them here? That's weird.
You got to find a place that does tobacco, and then you go get the stems, right?
I guess if you go down to Tillsonburg,
Yeah, maybe you go down there, you can find them. But I don't know where you.
what I would do is go down there and let's work for the summer.
Wonder. Hey, hold on. Hold on, Ricky. Mike Vanderyak, I'm sure that he grows and dries and picks all his tobacco stems. Mike, back to you.
Oh yeah, Mike, let us know. Have you picked your own tobacco stems? How'd that work out for you? Michael Muhammad over on YouTube says, I missed so much. You didn't, honestly. We've only been on for about a half hour. Lots of time here left. Are you bringing birds to Lancaster the 13th, 14th, and 15th? Lancaster.
Where's that?
Where's that? Lancaster where?
Lancaster's in New York. No, won't be going to
Lancaster, England.
Oh,
In England?
No.
Well, which Lancaster, Michael, and what are you talking about? Let us know in the comments. Let me get back over to our friends on Facebook.
Oh,
Tony Alvis, I think most people can tell a nice bird in the hand, but we can never see what's inside the pigeon's head. Only the basket can tell what your best pigeon is. Of course, that's 100% right. Mike Vandiak, so show judges use the same technique as Ryan. Those that score 100 out of 100 win the class. So, I know, but who are these show judges? Who are they?
Well,
Judging the racing pigeon. Well, who's the show judge that judges the racing homers? That's what I want to know. Who is it?
They may ask someone like Guido Madrusin because he flies racing pigeons.
Yeah, well, that would make sense then.
He's got the fingers for it, right? He's got the.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, to the guys who enjoy showing their racing pigeons, enjoy.
Guido is on. Okay. Guido answered, do parents pass on vaccinations on to, I guess, their youngsters and the eggs? Guido says no. Mike Vanderyak, I've never heard anyone claim that a show winner will be a race winner. Shows are beauty contests, something fun to do in the winter. And I agree with that as well. I don't think it's anything to get overly concerned about, to be honest. It's just something fun that they do in the winter, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Mike, Tony DeTresere says, Mike Vanderyak, I recall birds being tossed from a show for being too showy, even though it was a multiple race winner. Oh, I imagine there's a whole bunch of politics in the show circus. In the show circus. Hear me say that?
The show circus.
I mean, if I'm going to be, I mean, I gotta go to Ireland next month to judge a big racing pigeon show, and then I gotta go down to Italy to do another show.
Hey, listen.
And Romania.
Listen.
If I'm judging a racing pigeon show, and a guy brings me a tank, like you know the one that you can make a beautiful pigeon squab dinner out of.
Hold on.
I'm gonna throw that sucker out.
Hold on. I'm gonna just tell you guys this. If you ever see me at a pigeon show and I am the judge and you want to win it, give me $2,000 and I guarantee you're the winner. Because I don't really care. Whatever floats your boat, we're just gonna point to that red checker is number one. And then when I go out, I'm just gonna show me the money. Yeah.
Well, you know, you're gonna judge a show.
He's clearly kidding, guys. We don't need people coming for us in this show. Guido says that he judges racing homers all the time, and David Tracy has judged our combine shows a few times. Mike Vanderyak and a couple of the other guys are saying many of the guys in southwestern Ontario use tobacco stems. I never have tried them. The nicotine keeps the bugs down. So I guess it's a thing, but only in southwestern Ontario.
That's where all the tobacco is, right?
Well, that's where all I guess so. Sure.
Yeah. Tillsonburg, what is it down there? Delhi and
some of the biggest cigarette factories are down there.
They're all large tobacco factories.
Oh, they're running. They're running.
Business, right?
And you want to know what the sad part is? These guys in southwestern Ontario, they have this clear-cut advantage on breeding with these tobacco stems. And you know what? I'm getting just a little bit fed up with it.
Wait a minute. I went down there for a job, and I said, well, I'm 69. I want to have a job. And they knew. I wanted only the tobacco stems.
I thought tobacco was only grown in the south, so I'm
No,
Yeah,
totally.
so
no.
hey Leah,
Well,
I
that's
want you to
southwestern
follow the bouncing
Ontario.
ball. So yeah, follow the
Southwestern.
bouncing ball.
Delhi,
Yeah.
Tilsonburg.
Oh,
What
yeah.
else down there?
Well,
All down in there.
you know what they got down there? They got
Big,
the
big.
hey, they got the Piggly Wiggly down there too.
And the Belgians, a lot of the tobacco farmers are run by Belgians.
Well,
And the
who
guys
knew?
go in there,
Belgians, like
Belgians.
by
Moving
real
on.
Belgians.
By the
We're getting
Flemish.
Or the Flemish.
okay. We're getting off track. Tony de Cesare, Guido, is there a standard like with showbirds? That I'd like to know that. What's the standard for a racing pigeon, Guido? Or David Tracy. He's been a judge as well. What's the standard? I'm interested to know. Okay, Michael on YouTube says, okay, Pennsylvania. Okay, what's going on in Pennsylvania? Is there a show there or something? Hosting hotel. There must be some pigeon show in Lancaster in the middle of the month or something. ABC Loft. A pair of my birds laid 2 eggs, but only 1 egg is fertile. What do I do?
Leave the 2 eggs with her and let the baby hatch, and just leave it. Let the baby develop. Once you get the bands on and the baby gets to a certain size, then you take the egg away. That's what I would do. I would leave the bad egg.
How old is the cock and how old's the hen?
He wasn't asking that.
No, he said only 1 age hatched. Is there something I can do?
Well, maybe
the cock's 25 years old and he doesn't fill anymore.
Well, no, he was asking, do I leave the egg, the bad egg, with the good egg? And of course you do, because when the baby hatches out, it gives the baby protection.
That's it.
Does it not?
Or what I would do is if you have pot eggs, because sometimes that bad egg, when you leave it in there, it with the incubation, the heat, I've seen them explode.
Okay, well, overall,
and the parent, they stick to it, right? Take it out, put a pot egg in, and that's it.
Once you roughly get the baby banded, pretty much.
No, he's talking way before banding.
I understand that, but the egg's not going to explode before then.
It may.
I don't think it will, but ABC, you try it and let us know. If it explodes, that's egg on your shirt.
ABC says it's a 2021. 2021 birds.
Nothing good happened in 2021, and the problems are continuing.
So what he's saying is the egg hatched.
No.
And now he's got an egg
He's got one good egg in the bowl and 1 bad egg.
So he checked it in the light.
He checked it in the light, whatever he did. So leave both eggs there, let them hatch. That's the name of the game.
But I've seen sometimes those other eggs, they'll explode and stick to the hen, and she'll be walking around with a rotten.
Okay. Well,
right. So put a pot.
You can do whatever way you want to break this bread here. It's not a tricky one. Switch the egg or leave the egg. You could have a real smelly situation on your hands, according to Loft Manager Richard. But again, that's something I want you to feel out for this first time you do this and enjoy it.
Take that egg then, throw it out, put a pot egg in.
Could he eat it?
Throw the egg out. Don't put it in your pocket. Because if you walk in the house and your wife comes and pushes up against you, and you're going to have
Here's another thing. Make sure, though, that you can tell that the egg is dead, too. Or don't do the move that I've seen him do before. Take the good egg and throw it out and leave the rotten egg in with a dummy egg. Sorry, Ricky. Didn't mean to throw you under the bus on that one, big guy.
If it could happen to Loft Manager Richard, it could happen to you. Just remember that.
Always remember, I'm always coming for you.
Okay, so Guido says that the AU has a written standard. That's how they judge the racing homers. Okay, let's get off the show topic. Shall we start? We're going to bring Plugger on and the 3 bachelorettes and get into their eyes today and talk about them.
Oh, all right. Did you want to show the eyes first, or did you want to bring each bird up first? How do you want to do this, Leah? Because remember, you're the star of Plugger.
I'm not the star of Plugger, but I feel well. I don't know. It's up to you guys. ABC, is it bad to leave 1 egg in the bowl?
Yes. Leave 2.
Yeah.
Leave 2. The pigeons lay 2. Leave 2.
Yeah.
And why?
I would leave 2.
It protects the other baby, right?
It protects the other
baby.
baby.
Young one hatches, it'll protect too. When they hatch, I always leave the eggshells in.
You don't
mess with them. Protect the newborn baby.
Yeah.
Youngster.
Guido says he usually drops the good egg.
See, this is one of these things that happens.
Okay, So
Well,
as you guys
I've done-
know, on the last show or the show before, we talked about Plugger, one of my dad's pigeons, and you guys wanted the opportunity to pick a mate for Plugger. So we've selected 3 bachelorettes, which we're going to talk about. We're going to show the eye sign, and you guys are going to get to pick who we're going to mate Plugger up with. Correct, Ryan?
If I can, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes, Richard. Go ahead with your question.
What is the reputation of Plugger, by the way? So people
Plugger's
get to
great.
know
It's a
this.
bird that you got back from a race that was straight in with you.
From what race was it?
Englehart.
Right.
We're going to say that it actually came from 275 miles.
79 miles.
79 miles. It's 76, but okay, 79. And he bred a baby out of Plugger this year. He bred 2. One was garbage. And one of the babies
One
flew.
right now is living on a bridge somewhere.
I'm talking and you're interrupting, okay? The other one did all 9 races. It was the middle of the pack, not a bad pigeon. Wasn't your best pigeon and wasn't your worst pigeon by any means. It made it all 9 weeks.
And did what? It beat a lot of pedigree birds.
That's what it did do.
Big time.
Now, are
Big
you
time.
highly I just want to ask you this because it almost seems like you need a point or something.
What I'm going to
gonna
say
ask
to
you a
you
question.
is,
I'm going to ask
after
you
this year, any Plugger's young ones
Yeah.
are going to come with pedigrees.
Oh,
Because I can't do it on this. This got to be the second year before I can make the pedigrees up. You know.
okay.
Okay, so what are you talking about here?
Well, I don't know. You got me all off things. You want to keep going on about how damn good Plugger is. You don't want to know what?
He's a
I'll
perfect
fly
pigeon.
the babies with Plugger this year, and I'll let you know, Ricky.
Okay, so do we want to look at the eyes first and then bring...
Let's do the eyes. Let's do the eyes.
All right, so we're going to do the eyes. We don't know what the pigeons look like. We're just going to look at the eyes to start. All
Let's
right.
see eyes. Get your eye sign.
Does your father keep plugs?
Pluggers. Oh. Who's your
Look
photographer?
at the iris on that Plugger there. Look at that, and look at that breeding portion in that bird's eye.
You're going crazy. You got breeding.
And look at the darkness down in the bottom there.
Yeah, he's got it from about 5 till 9. Plugger looks good. Look at Miss Dixie on the right. She's at the top right. Miss Magic there, number 2. She's got a beautiful eye. Would go on to him real nice. And then there's the last hen there, the number 3 hen. She's just a beauty.
Miss White.
Miss White. So you guys take a look at what you think would be the best eye for Plugger. Remember, Plugger is the top left corner.
So
Yeah, top left corner is Plugger. I've got a little, let's see if we can do this here. Hold on a minute. I got one of these so we can look at. Let me just solo this. So I got this off the internet. Now it's probably wrong. So if it's wrong, don't come for me. I pulled it off the internet. What we're supposed to be looking for in the eye. And Ryan, can you see that there? Do you want to talk about what they're pointing out in this diagram so we can see what we're supposed to be looking at when we take a look at the bachelorettes?
Well, you can see there those purple little zigzags. Those are the speed lines, right, in the bird's eye. You see that. You see the green bars, the green lines. Those are the distance lines, and then you count the rings. You look at the rings. You look at the mounting. You look at everything they have there. I mean, that's a real nice eye. It's all there.
You want my opinion? I like to see more definition in that iris. There's not much there. Well, Plugger has way more.
You got to remember, Richard, that was a photo off a photo
done by a university professor.
Right. This is different.
Right.
Okay. I'm personally thinking. I'm thinking Miss Magic has the nicest eye for Plugger, but that's a me thing.
So let me get to the comments here. Mike Sheridan, hello, happy New Year to you. James Timothy Walters wants to see some birds. All right, we're gonna get to the birds.
I'd like to see number 1.
Just hold on.
Mike Vandriak, what are the breeding results of each of the bachelorettes? Have any bred a combine winner against 5,000 plus birds?
Yeah, each one has. Actually, one hen bred over 10,000 birds. One hen, 6,500 birds, and. Well,
the one hen I have a story about.
The number 1 hen It won. It topped the combine on a house league combine. Minimum like 700 birds. House league.
Which
Van
hen is that?
Zoren
Number one.
says 1 is breeding, 2 racing, 3 breeding, and 4 racing. So
One, you
Plugger
said
is
one.
breeding, breeding,
Mhm.
racing, breeding, racing. Breeding, racing,
Jeez,
breeding,
Way to
racing.
go, Plugger.
See?
Well, breeding, racing,
So it goes breeding, racing, breeding, racing. Now, Alfred, what are you thinking? Plugger to number 2, the bird with the heart, number 2 heart, Miss Magic. I think Plugger and Miss Magic go together. This is my feel.
What I like about Plugger and all those hens, all those eyes are different, and I like that.
Now, guys, if you are prone to epileptic or anything like that, this might freak you out, but let's see how this looks. Whoa.
Oh, I'd like to see number 1's eye in more light, actually, because I can't really see because she's got a kind of a bull eye chestnut.
You've only got a few more years here with us.
Got a chestnut eye.
Number 1, it's a darker eye. I didn't want to change.
So I can't really see the.
Okay.
But I like the dilation in number 2.
Number 2 is the best eye.
Big time.
That number 3 is not bad.
That number 2 doesn't have any flying in it.
For anybody taking any mind-altering medication, I apologize for that last clip. Okay, Heather is asking, when it comes to eye sign, what exactly are we looking for? Can you tell a good breeder through the eyes?
Well, there you just for people that don't know, Alfred der Van Zoren. He's an Olympiad winner. He's a national winner. He's probably one of the very best lofts in all of Holland, and a very small loft. He likes eyes, from what I gather. I don't think he believes in them 100%, but he likes them. And he gave you his opinion on those 4 eyes.
I will bet you what he will say is that most great flying pigeons have great eyes. Most of them. 99% of them do.
I think a lot do. Now, that's, again, fighting words, because a lot of people will,
We'll take a look at Plugger. Is he not a great bird?
He's a great bird. Okay. We're gonna have
okay, so we have a little story.
Wait just a minute before your story, please. We're gonna have a minute. We're gonna in a minute show Plugger and then show the 3 bachelorettes. But Mike Vandiak says we need to test the hemoglobin count on each of the hens. Okay, Mike. David Tracy, orange eye of Plugger to the light eye of Miss Magic. So David Tracy says bachelorette number 3 for eye sign.
No,
Stan likes number 2.
Number 2.
Who else here? Tony de Trezere says number 2. Heather says, I think Plugger and number 3.
Okay.
Robert Hamilton says number 2. Mo says 2. David Tracy, Miss Magic. Okay, well, we're going to see if now write down who you think is the best eye sign to go with Plugger, and then see if your idea changes once you see the actual bachelorettes, the pigeons in which the eyes belong. Let's see if then your decision changes.
Okay, so
I have a little story.
We've all seen Plugger, so we're not going to bring Plugger out at the start here. We're going to bring the hens out.
But I have a little story about.
Okay, Dad has a story.
Is Miss Dixie?
Anybody has to go to the bathroom, do it now.
Dixie, is she?
They're all here.
Yeah, I know. But
okay.
Is that Miss?
Okay, so
is that Dixie?
Grab the BG in the basket.
Blue checker?
No, the BG. You're gonna think about this. You know what? I think you should start judging.
Oh, unfortunately, Ryan's audio cut out, but I'm sure you can imagine what he's saying. We have a lot of fun here at the Pioneer Village. Michael Peebler says 3. Loft Manager Richard is going to go and fetch, hopefully, Bachelor number 1. Hopefully, we're going to do this in order. As Ryan reconnects here his audio. There we go.
Sorry about that. I was tearing a strip off of him.
Yeah, we could read your lips. Michael Peebler, put him on the bull. Give all 3 hens a breeding chance. Yes, I know, but then we can't pick, and then we can't have this fun. Aren't you having fun, Michael Peebler? What else would you be doing on Monday night? Okay, so I'm assuming that this is Bachelorette number 1, correct?
Yeah, this is Miss Dixie.
This is Miss Dixie, Bachelorette number 1. Go ahead, Ryan.
First of all, boy, you kept them in good condition, boy. Let's show her. Oh, I'm gonna have to. Let me see if I can go her this way.
No, other way. Other way. Ooh, there we go. There we go.
Very nice blue grizzle hen.
Miss Dixie, Loft Manager Richard, tell us about her.
Why did you pick her?
Why? Because I really like her. Look at the step on her. She's a late bred too. Look at the nice shape she's in. She's sharp. Show the under part of her, the white, the front of her. She's got a bit of, look at that.
Very nice little hen.
She comes in, she's, conformation is very, very nice. She's intelligent. You see how she keeps her condition even in the winter, and she's a late bred. She has never, ever flown outside of this loft because I had to, it got late and the hawks would have picked her off. So she's never flown, but look at the condition she keeps herself in for not even flying.
Yeah, she's very first time in the basket was today. You can see already basket forming up. Not a fat hen at all. Vents are tight. Her back's a little short. His back fixes her. Her back turns a little bit. She got a nice medium tight forearm, nice small little wings, but the barrel, good muscle.
Good muscle.
One finger keel to the vent. The vents are like steel on her. And she's got a nice eye.
Pigeon's never flown out of the loft.
Holding good weight.
One of those pigeons just say, well,
there you go. There's Miss Dixie. What do the people think of Miss Dixie, Leah?
So that is Miss Dixie. I'm gonna switch it here. Show it in the main camera here for a minute, Ryan. I'm just going to put up the comments. Alfred says, do look at the eyes. No steel eye on each other. That's actually what I look for. I personally think that the build and, of course, the bloodlines are most important. So he does look at the eye, but it's not like a major. It's not the most important thing on his checklist. Let's put it that way.
She's ready to fly.
And again, you hear the build, how the birds are built together, the construction, and the pedigrees. And Alfred is a man. He likes performance in the pedigree. He wants to see nothing but performance. He wants to see over performance. That's what he wants to see. From what I gather from Alfred, but there she is. She's not a bad little hen, Richard.
She's a nice hen.
Congratulations on that one, Miss Dixie.
If I start flying that bird, you're going to see something else.
Well, that's what you said.
So, just a reminder, Miss Dixie, there is her eye in the top right-hand corner, Bachelorette number 1, Miss Dixie. Loft Manager Richard's going to get Bachelorette number 2, Miss Magic.
I can just feel it. This is intense right now, Leah.
Are we having fun? We're having fun. Michael, let me get to the comments. Michael Peebler, take a round off each one for the one loft race for the auction. I think we are going to, well, if this works, we're going to auction off the babies at the Pioneer auction, right? I think we are, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna do something like that. We're gonna have some fun. Remember, we can do all of this. You guys are the one that get to participate in this and make it what it's going to be. So if we get a good feeling, maybe we'll put them with all 3 hens. Maybe we'll put all the babies up, and it'll be like a plugger on plugger. Which plugger will go the distance? Like 6 of them against each other in the race.
All I'm going to say is last year, and I'll say it again, I made shit fly.
On that note, okay, this is Bachelorette number 2. This is Miss Magic, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
So here, a nice blue checker for plugger. What's the story on Miss Magic? And Ryan, when you're talking about the conformation of the pigeon, can you just, because I know Michael Muhammad over on YouTube asked for you to specify when you're handling the pigeon and when you go through vent bones, this, that, the other thing. Can you tell people exactly what it is that you're handling, what you're looking for? Just break it down a little bit. So go ahead. What's the story on Miss Magic? Bachelorette number 2. Go.
Very nice hen. She was picked for this cock just on her body. She's got a nice, round, robust, nice muscle-bodied. Her forearm, when you get your hand right in here and you lift up the wing, she got a good vibration. But when you put your fingers up and in here, and you lift the wing, up and under that armpit, like someone's armpit. You feel the armpit is pulling down tight, real tight, strong, tight forearm. She's got good muscle. She's got nice, soft, silky feathers. You like to feel lots of feathers. Her vent bones, one finger keel to the vent. Her vents are strong, just a very little bit open. She's a little bit overweight, but nice.
That's why they're a bit open.
That's why they're open. The other hand's a little tighter in the vent bones.
Look at that.
She's got a gorgeous eye. When you put your hand on this pigeon, like my hand is right here, you see my finger here bending? You can feel the vibration running right through the chest of this pigeon. She's vibrating nice. She's very calm in the hands. Strong one-pin tail. The back is tight. Loads of muscle. And I think for that cockbird, she's different than him completely. He's longer, a little cobbier, smaller.
He's cooing right now.
She's perfect for him.
Ryan, when you're saying the vent bones, can you just maybe pull Miss Magic up a bit and show everybody where you're talking about the vent bones? If you can try and do that. There you go. Where are we talking here?
So you run your finger up the keel, and then you'll feel her vent bones are right here.
There's a gap between the keel bone and the vent bone.
Yeah, there's a gap. So this bird's about one finger. You feel the vent bones. The vent bones are right here. Now the vent bones are going to kind of be like your two knuckles, right?
Mm-hmm.
The two little bumps, two knuckles, like on the top part of your hand. You see the bumps?
Yeah.
You feel that. You want them nice and tight and nice and large. You don't want them small like the ends of pencils. You want them like the end of your thumb. A nice strong vent bone. And you want them touching.
Feel like, if they can, like the rubbers on the end of pencils.
Yeah.
Get them like that.
Yeah, the rubber on the end of a pencil. Nice,
yeah.
Strong vent bone. They don't move. Like nice.
Please don't hurt her.
I'm not hurting her, but that's where the vent bones are. This hen here, she's a real doll.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
When I put her up into the big camera, Leah, which I can do that, she just...
look at that white wattle. Look at that sharp eye.
Yeah, she's differently than the last one.
Let me get to the comments here. Mike Vandriak, what happened to Plugger's mate from 2021? Why change a proven pair? This is Plugger Junior. This isn't the original Plugger. This is Plugger.
This is Plugger.
No, this is the original Plugger.
This is the original Plugger?
Yeah.
This is Plugger. This is like the first Apple computer. This is Plugger.
Last year I really didn't care about the mating, and this year I'm taking a little more care. And to what I made him to. Last year, he was with a hen that I had a leftover hen, and I just said, here, go ahead with her. But this year, I'm going to do something different here.
So Rob Long says they say that serrated edges between the iris and the pupil are a good indication of great breeding quality in the bird. But if you want my opinion, the bird needs to have all the other top quality traits too, before you can even consider the eye itself to gauge a bird for breeding quality. I would agree with that. I think it's everything rolled into one. David Tracy, number 2, Miss Magic is still my choice. What about our friends over on YouTube? What do you guys think of Miss Magic? Let's have a look one more time at the eye. Let's, what are we going to do here? Let's bring up the eye here. So eye number 2, Miss Magic. Kind of like, what do you call that color, Ryan? Coral? Pearlish-ish, maybe?
Yeah, she's got a pearl eye.
Pearl eye. There she is.
Bachelorette number 2. Go ahead, Dad.
I think the fellow before, he said about eye sign that other parts of the bird should match up to make a great pigeon. And I think he's 100% right. Some guys only breed pigeons for eyes. They go, perfect. This is perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. The pigeon handles, it's just like a garbage.
That's right.
Garbage, right? Never flies them even. Just looks at eyes.
That's right.
Plain garbage.
You got to look at everything.
Right.
Ricky, don't forget your earphones. They're in, boy. Don't want you to drag the old microphone away.
I'll drag you with me.
Before you hand off Miss Magic to Loft Manager Richard, I was going to say, can you show Loft Manager Richard, what's the proper way? Man. Show everybody the proper way to hand off a pigeon, to hand a pigeon to any other clubmate or to... Can you please show everybody what the proper way to do that is? Because some people maybe don't know. They feel awkward and they're not sure. What's the
Now,
proper way to hand over a pigeon to another fancier?
so when you want to hand over a pigeon, and this really irritates me, if you do this, see, okay, this is wrong when you hand the bird backwards. It's wrong.
100%.
Okay? The best way, nice way, get the bird in your hands, get him balanced, okay? There you go. Hand it right over to him. His hands go on the body.
Yeah.
Your hands come off.
There you go.
You pass it back.
Hand it to you. I go like this.
Same
there
way.
You go. Yep.
Same way.
Is it possible you could stand up and do it because the microphone's sort of in the way? Sorry.
Well, hold on.
Sorry.
Hold on. We're going to do that. Here we go. Ready, Ricky? So, forward, in.
Thank you, sir.
Now, give me the bird the wrong way.
I don't like to hand a person a bird like this because they go like this with the hand or whatever they go.
Right.
Freaks the bird out. I like to take the bird like this.
That's right.
Bang, like that.
Hand it over. Very simple. You never hand a bird backwards because why? Go and try and get it. Pick it up. How do you do it?
Terrible.
You can't. You got to take it like this.
Yeah, then I have to turn around.
Right.
And I have to turn it. Look at the birds all freaked out.
Bird's getting all screwed
Turn it
up.
around against my body.
Right.
Go
All
like
because these pros, and I call the new guys the pros because they read books.
Right.
The book readers, they missed that key chapter. Handing birds to a pigeon
Never
man
hand
forward.
a bird by the legs like this because that don't work. And never hand somebody a bird by the tail.
That's right.
Because that's bad. Or even doesn't look good.
By the wings.
You know when you pull the wings up?
Yeah,
Like
don't
this
do that.
And say, here, buddy, take my bird. It don't work like that. And the other thing, never handle a bird to a guy this way because it don't work.
That's right. So always straight. Keep them straight. Hand them to you. Hand them to somebody.
Make the bird feel comfortable.
Comfortable. Nice. Cover the head. Pull it down just like that. He puts his hands over, and it's done. Bird's calm. He gets the bird the way you handed it to him. And it's the same thing when I see people, I hate to say it, go into auction cages and catch pigeons. They go in and that's what they say. I got to catch that pigeon in the cage. By the time they get the pigeon out of the show cage,
had a heart attack.
The pigeon's had a heart attack. It feels nothing like it's supposed to because it's all wiry and rangy. And that's because you as a handler going into the show cage, you don't speak pigeon. You go in like a wild raccoon and you get what you get. You don't get a comm pigeon, you get a nut job pigeon.
So if anybody who's watching would like to see how do you properly get a pigeon in a show cage, let us know and we will have loft manager Richard or Ryan demonstrate it. We're only going to do it if you guys want to see it. So let us know in the comments if you want to see it. Hopefully, how do you hand off a pigeon helps us new people who maybe aren't quite sure. Hopefully that information helps. Right. We are going to now have a look at Bachelorette number 3, Miss White. Bachelorette number 3. Now, I have no idea. I'm thinking this pigeon's white. Is it white? Probably not.
Leah, would I name a pigeon Miss White and not be white? Come on, Leah.
Well, I don't know. I'd be surprised if you picked a white one because that's something I would do and you'd be like, no, we're not going to pair it up with something that's white. So let's see. Is Miss White actually white? Bachelorette number 3. Let's take a look at the eyes while Loft Manager Richard gets Miss White one last time here. We're going to have a look at Bachelorette number 3, Miss White. Kind of that orangey sort of eye. Let's have a look. And she's not. Because you suck. That's okay. All right, let's have a look at Miss White. Bachelorette number 3, go ahead.
All right, well, there she is. She's Miss White. She's a blue-white flight hen. This pigeon actually, we trained this pigeon. It came back with a broken wing.
Didn't train it. It went to Matheson.
Yeah, came back with a broken wing. Right, the bird came back with a destroyed wing running down the road. We've seen the bird coming.
Tell the people the story.
Yeah, that was the story.
The bird was about a quarter mile away from my house. I came driving down the road, and I seen this pigeon on the shoulder of the road, heading towards my place, walking from east to west. I thought, well, that pigeon. I knew it was a race bird. I went out to try and grab it, And the thing could fly probably about 8 feet and then it would crash. And it flew, 8 feet into the field. And then I thought, you know what? There was a bit of a ditch. And I said, hell with it. I'm not going to try and chase this thing down. So about an hour or so later.
It was at the fence.
Yeah, an hour or so later, I walked down the shoulder of the road, walked right down my driveway. Look at the step in that wing. She walked right down my driveway, right into the front by my garage doors, and that was her. So I don't know how she made it so far, and then she crashed. And she's got one wing, it's not right. She can't, she doesn't fly.
She doesn't fly, but you know what?
She got a nice wing.
You picked her, so Miss White it is.
I said to Plugger this year, last year I just threw you a spare hen. This year I'm going to pick you a hen out.
Well, you're not picking nothing. Our audience is, Richard.
But any of these three is a good pick.
Back to you, Leah. Back to you.
So I'm going to get you on the big screen there. Guido says, the bottom line is we breed them for results, nothing else. Hey, you guys, I get that. Michael Peevler, I get it. Just pair them all together and see what, and whatever happens. And Guido, we only breed for results. And perhaps to some of you, this is very basic and nonsense. But I think for a lot of us that maybe don't have those commercial brand pedigreed pigeons with a whole bunch of results. And we go to our lofts and we see the same thing as this setup here, Plugger and the 3 Bachelorettes, where the results are just from, mediocre results or regular combine results year in, year out. And we look at the birds and we wonder, okay, we feel lost. Who am I going to pair with who? This is just a demonstration on how we're able to pair up pigeons when we don't really have a clue. And we kind of look at things like eye sign. We look at the conformation of the pigeon. We look at what appeals to us by looking at it. Forget about the record. This is a little experiment on everybody in the audience is going to be able to pick the hen for Plugger. We're going to breed them up and we're going to see how the babies do. Because I think a lot of us are in the same boat in our breeding lofts.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
This Plugger bird, you handle him. He's a perfect pigeon. The coverage across his back, his vents are tight. Keel to the vent is tight. Take a look at his eye. Okay, buoyancy. Well, he's a plug, right? He's a plug. Okay, the wing, feather in the wing, right out, almost to the end of the tail.
Right.
He's literally almost like a falcon. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, proven results. Hey, boys. Number 1, proven results. I'm having some fun. That's number 1. Number 2, I put him to a plain head hen last year. And I had a pair of young ones. I lost the cock probably at around 20 miles. Or the nest, he was very cocky. Almost stupid cocky. Like typical plug. Okay. But the hen, I flew to 9 races in a row, back to back. She was always home within the first, I'd say, half hour to the hour. Flew those 4 300-mile races. Out of my group of birds, I ended up with about 14 in the end. Out of started flying with about 60. Okay? She's one here. She's one. She's here. Now, if that's not a proven result for having a bit of fun, sorry, my friend.
It's fun, and
Let's see what you could. She beat a lot of high quality pigeons, high pedigree pigeons. She did it, and I joke. I made some shit fly. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was them. But she beat a lot of you boys with your pedigrees. So don't tell me that's not a result. Better take that back.
Well, you know what they could say? You know what we could say?
What?
Could you imagine,
right,
if you had pigeons from Alfred, how good you'd do? Right? You're flying a half racing pigeon, half wild pigeon. You did very well with that. Congratulations. That was good on the pigeon and good on you as the handler.
Right.
But can you imagine a good handler investing in getting super pigeons.
Alfred, please don't call
listen,
me up because I've already had a proposal.
Listen,
10 Chinese guys.
Come on.
You know, I'm going to have a Rolls Royce to drive with a trailer on the back of it.
I just feel
pigeon trailer.
Whatever. I think it's representative of what a lot of people face in their own lofts when they're pairing their birds up, and you're a regular kind of flyer, and you're all in the same boat. So we're going to try this and see. I'm very interested to see what youngsters come out of this. I'm very interested to see how they perform. We are going to put them up for auction. Whoever wants to bid on them, and they will race in the Pioneer Loft. I'm interested to see. It's an experiment. Hey, why not? Let me get to the comments.
I wouldn't sell. I won't sell.
Okay,
I won't sell. Just wait. We were at the club one night.
I know. People want to buy Plugger.
People want to buy Plugger.
One guy offered me $75 for him.
Okay,
Next thing I knew, it was up to $200. I said, I ain't selling.
Moving on.
Do you want to talk any more bullshit, or are you done?
It's not bullshit. That's the truth.
Okay, then we're got to bring Plugger on. We have to bring the Bachelor on. Okay,
I'm getting a headache over these 4 birds.
Brian Mansker, what do you mean by coverage on back? And then we have more comments, so go quickly.
Well, I wish we could actually turn Plugger around when he's in the show cage. But the coverage on.
Well, here, go into this camera.
Right. This bird has no coverage.
Wait, hold on.
The coverage on the back is not as good on this one.
Has none.
So, what do we mean by it?
The covering over the back here, and you'll see it also.
The secondary flights.
When you open a bird's wing up, you sort of don't want to ever see your fingers. See these fingers? See my fingers here? You want it to cover. It's a little hard here. This bird barely covers.
Show the camera, not your face. There we go. Thank you.
Okay. The more coverage over the back, the better the coverage. So when the bird takes the stroke, it's closed. It's a closed stroke. So there's no air blowing through. See,
watch your wing. That could be
this isn't her bad wing's this wing. You think this is my first time here or what? Jesus, you're all over the board tonight. Fix your hair. There you go. Wait. Perfect. Hey, Ricardo, hop up. Go on and get Plugger. Hey, you know what? You can use that as a toupee.
All you got to do is put a pencil mark, glue it to my head.
Okay, go.
Go get Plugger. Take your earmuffs out.
Coverage on this bird. There's no bird in your loft has coverage like that.
I don't have any birds, but take your earmuffs out because remember, once the radio goes off the station,
I'm going to drag you across the floor.
Oh.
Okay. Cavender Loft, Robert Cavender, nice to see you on. Cavender Loft, by the way, is in our One Loft race. Nice to see you part of it, friend. Votes for Miss White. Rita, nice to see you, says, question, how many years should you give your breeders a chance by changing their mates, etc.? Thank you.
Listen, you want me to tell you, Rita, what my thought is on that? Whatever you think is right. Because my reason being on this is, when do you add salt to a meal? Do you add it before, while it's cooking, or at the end? There's so many different scenarios. You pick. If you put a pair together and you like the babies and they turned out great, you can leave them together. If you don't like how they turned out, you can separate them. It's sort of a you thing. You can't get it out of a book. There's no right or wrong way. Really, it's your feeling. And again, pairing up pigeons is feeling. It's a feeling. How do they look together? How do they act together? Does the cock hate the hen? Does the hen not even notice him? I know people, I've seen people, they force pairs together and they get nothing out of it.
Mike Vandriak says, Plugger's daughter's record is why you should have last year's pair together. We're just having some fun, Mike. We're just having fun. Mike Sheridan, maybe Plugger is half racing pigeon. We hope. We don't know. Mike Vandriak, you're right, Leah. Picking a pairing is like judging a show, just one's personal opinion. And I think Guido says it's trial and error. I think, is it not trial and error for everybody? Regardless if you have perfect pedigreed pigeons with Olympiad results or not, is it not trial and error? Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to breed you Olympiad winners.
No, but you have to remember, the better the fruit, the closer to the tree the fruit comes from, the odds go up.
Sure.
The odds go up. So,
best of the best.
You know, if you buying grandchildren of grandchildren of grandchildren of grandchildren, you know what you're getting in the end? you might as well, I'm going to be honest, you might as well, right here, plugger. You have the same shot with plugger as you do with great-grandchild, a great-grandchild, a great-grandchild, a great-grandchild. And there's no breeding performance.
They want to buy young ones directly from plugger. I do have them.
Plugger. This is Plugger. Okay, what's the story on Plugger? For those of us who haven't heard it, let's show Plugger. Dad, what's the story again?
I don't know if you see him. He came in here. We're flying 279 miles. He came in here with a group of birds. He hit that board and went right in just like a bullet. And I looked at him, and I'm telling you, I've had guys handle him here.
He's pretty good.
This amazing pigeon.
He's not a bad pigeon.
How tight are those vents?
I'm going to tell you, the vents are nice. His back should be tighter. Back's a little raggedy.
Right.
But overall, the wings are nice and long. He's got great feather quality. The softness, he feels like he's got quite a bit of feather, right? And the thing I like, I see him in the show cage a little bit. And you went to pick him up, and he had that little bit of, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He had that.
Yeah,
look.
he looked back.
He looked at you like, who are you? You know, I'm the legend of Plugger. And you want to know what's fun? We're going to try this again. Now let's see if this pigeon with a new head, right, can do the same thing.
Any of those 3 hens are better than the hen I put them to last year.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that number 2 hen and him go together perfection. She's got the bigger barrel. She's nice. He's super buoyant. The eyes go opposite.
Look at how flat his head is.
Yeah.
You know what? His head is.
Hell, we might even send these to a one-loft race. You know anything with Tricky Hills?
But that flat head tells me he's inbred.
Oh, he's a nice pigeon.
Look at how flat his head is. You could rest a beer bottle on the top of his head.
So there we go, and we see the eyes again. The eye photos: Bachelor 1, Bachelor 2, and Bachelor 3, and of course Plugger.
How tight is he under the wing?
He's super.
Super, Richard. I wanted to. Can I put a bit on him right now?
And there they are in live action. Good evening, Close Petzold. Nice to see you on.
Who's your loft manager?
You mean photographer?
Oh, photographer. Sorry, I'm starting to sound like you.
Okay, so what's the plan now? What do we do? When's everybody going to vote? You'll have this week to vote, and we'll announce the winner on next Monday's family show. I'll put up a post, and you guys can vote on Bachelor 1, Bachelor 2, or Bachelor 3. Maybe we should just take photo box photos of them. Like, I won't do the whole Photoshop. Oh, Ryan's having the time of his life. He loves this.
Well, you want me?
You know what I think we should do?
You want to know what Ryan loved? When Ryan this morning, and I said to my partner, my esteemed partner here, Leah, what do you want done for the Plugger Love Romance Challenge? I said, this week let's just show the eyes, and next week we'll show the birds. We can do some photos and some stuff.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep Plugger in a section by himself. We're going to take the 3 hens. We're going to keep them in sections by themselves. They won't see any other birds. Then we're going to take Plugger in a nice cage and put the 3 hens in with him. Why? The first hen that squats for him, that's the one. Out of the 3 hens.
Oh boy, this is becoming a whole production now.
Guys, I'm on freaking tea today. I'm drinking tea. I picked today to get off the booze.
A pigeon porno. We got a pigeon porno.
Let's not do that.
No, we'll put the 3 hens in a cage. The first one he treads.
We're gonna have the audience vote. Let's have the audience vote on who they want him to go to, and we're gonna go from there. We're gonna have some fun with this. And by the jingle, we're gonna produce a winner.
We're gonna produce somebody. A winner. Yes, we are. So next week, tune in for that. No, we're going to do some kind of, not the proper, like, professional photo, but just a photo box photo maybe or something.
Ryan can't do it in the photo box because Plugger, he won't be able to handle them and just fly out of there.
Here's the best thing. I have photographed well over 1,000 pigeons.
What did I tell you today?
I'm going to do a photo of
him. What did I tell you?
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something.
I said, watch out.
Today, my first day back on the job, I had the luxury of doing the gallow pigeons.
Okay. They're pretty wild too.
No, the pigeons, you don't even have a fucking clue on what you're you weren't there. Well, why would you comment on something where you weren't even at?
I'm saying they got a lot of zip.
Those birds in the photo box? I was eating a sandwich, like, yeah, get in the box. You know what? Fucking perfection. Snap the picture. Perfect. No idiotic craziness, jumping around. I move the foot, adjust the band, bird just stands there. Superior pictures. You want to know why? I can tell the man puts time in with the pigeons. Now, I'm going to take a picture of these three. You know what? I'll do it perfection as well. Because why? I'm the photo man.
So let's get back to how long to keep birds together or keep trying them. Tony Chesray says, Rita, if I was disappointed with the young of a pair after 1 year or both parents are eliminated, I may try one if I really like it for 1 more year. You're only giving them 1 year, Tony? That doesn't seem like a lot.
You know, we had a gentleman, okay? He bought an auction bird. I'm not going to use his name, okay? And it was a real high-end pigeon. He bred it one season and, breaking the babies, letting them out for the first couple times. He happened to lose both the babies off the board. Okay? He got so mad he put the bird up for sale on another auction site, and the gentleman bought it the next year and bred winners out of it right away.
I don't think 1 year is enough time. That's just my personal opinion.
I think you got to give it, especially a bird that you bring in. If it's a European bird, you got to be willing to give it 2 to 3 years. That's what I think.
Mike Vanderyak says a minimum of 6 pregnancies are required to rate a parent. The more, the better. I would agree with Mike Vanderyak. I think you got to give him a chance. Michael Peevler, test your young birds. If they're no good, switch the pairs. Yeah, I wouldn't eliminate. I mean, maybe it's just your pairing didn't work. Why would you eliminate after 1 year because you mispaired them? I would try again with different mates for season 2. That's how you figure it out, isn't it?
And the other thing is too, if you have a new pairing, you've had you've had the bird for a while, but you haven't paired it, pair it up, get a round out of it, and switch the mating on it. So you can try 2 in a season or 3 in a season. That depends on how much work you want to put in though as well, right?
Right.
So, but I would definitely give yourself a minimum of 6 to 12 eggs. 12 eggs, and you're starting to really know. And again, that gives you time. It gives you time. We had a super pigeon that Richard went, and it was in 2006. You went out to an auction. I went out to Tillsonburg area, and I bought a couple babies. And you went out to our local auction here, and you bought a bird from Joe Formosa. It was a little young bird, a big blue, a Jansen-based pigeon. And this pigeon as a young bird, I'll tell you, it was crap. It was no good. It was nowhere to be found. And if you would have had the parents of that, you'd have gotten rid of it. But we flew it as a yearling. And it was 3rd champion bird in the House League Combine. Okay? It flew every week. It was bang right up there. It had a 4th in the Combine, a 6th in the Combine. It was right up there. But if you would have judged the parents on that young bird, he just needed another year. And he was good as a 2-year-old as well. He was very good. He had back-to-back super years, but as a young bird, he was no good. So sometimes, by giving those birds a chance,
no good or steady.
He was just average. He wasn't steady. He was never up in the first. He was at the end of the hour to 2 hours behind.
A lot of times came next day.
No, he didn't. I don't think he did that. I can't remember. But what I'm saying is, by giving your breeders a bit of time, you allow to test those babies as yearlings. You get another view, right? Some birds mature different. It's different.
If he's here at the end of the year, he's done the work.
He deserves to move on.
Right? He deserves to move on. Sometimes they make a mistake. Right. It may come the next day.
Yeah, it depends how bad the mistakes are.
Continually the next day or 2 days later.
It's like take a look at Plugger. Right. Take a look at Plugger that we flew, the baby from it.
Right.
That bird was within a half hour to maybe an hour and a half behind your birds. But behind the winning birds.
Yeah.
That bird totally you take over and fly it as a yearling. Would you not?
Yeah, and it had a regular band on it.
No, but what I'm saying is the performance, it didn't win you nothing. It was just there. You were looking at the end of the day and say, yeah, it's there. You're looking at the end of that race, yeah, it's there.
When it came to the last Mont Laurier,
please pronounce it right. I can still taste the corned beef.
Because it didn't have a gold band on it, I said to Ryan, she flew 8 races steady. I said, I hate to put it to Mount Laurier, the last one, the 9th race, because she's not going to do nothing, not going to win nothing. She's just going to. And Ryan said, "What the hell? Send her. Let's see. The darn thing can do it."
And she had 5 days in a holdover, and there she was.
Yeah.
So there you
So
go.
Ian Sybil says late bloomers just like people. Klaus says that it waits until they are 2 years old. That way they have 3 seasons of flying to judge them on. Tony Cesare says, I mean, disappointed with all the young birds bred, not just performance handling and everything. Small lofts have to be strict.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not happy with again, this is all, if you're a small loft and you're judging everything the same way and you do it right from the word go and you grade every bird, have it be you buy a $500 bird or a $10,000 bird. If you're going to grade the same way, then go ahead and grade that way. That's fine. But I do see it's quite cute. You'll see someone drop $2,000 and they're real tight to get rid of it, eh? They got it for 4 years. It hasn't bred them nothing, and they're like, or $5,000. Like, oh God, I can't get rid of this thing. Why? Because I paid a lot for it. So whatever ways you people want to judge them and grade them, go ahead. But I think like Klaus and like Ian said, giving some time allows you to see the babies.
I was going to say
develop.
Exactly. I think that we push the youngsters sometimes way too hard because they're not really developed until they're at least a year old. Do you get me?
Well, sure.
Right.
Right.
And we push them and push them and push them, right? And I think, when they're yearlings or 2 years old, you're going to see a lot difference in a pigeon. But you got to respect them as a young bird too, as a youngster. But you can't beat the shit out.
But again, here in North America and Canada, it's all people love young birds because you fly them. The end of the season, it's done. You don't have to go and fly old birds. A lot of guys, don't want to fly the old birds. It's too much time to do both. Blah blah blah. So we're pushing young birds. I'm starting to see it now here. It's incredible. But, I mean, you look today in Florida, the Flamingo, they had, a 420-mile race. The Chavez Classic, a 400-mile race. The other one's going to another 400-mile youngbird races. Now, they're flying them on real easy tailwind days,
right?
And you're seeing it. You turn all those days and give those birds a 1,200-meter day, those birds won't come like that. But you see, we keep pushing. I think within 5 years, the main races will be 400 miles, and the encores will be 500 miles for young birds. You'll see. They're going to keep pushing.
I've seen many times you get birds. He's always my first bird home. First bird home. He became champion bird in the group I flew in the combine. In his combine, it was champion bird. And the bird that came, always a half an hour or an hour after, always the kit.
Yeah.
As a yearling, he's there.
He surpasses the other one.
But that bird that won the combine and was first in his loft, always first, let's say first in my loft.
Yep.
The next year as a yearling, you put him to the race, the first race,
he's gone.
Gone.
That's it. We've seen that.
How many times have you seen that?
That was a painful
one. It's a young one that's steady as a youngster. Respect them.
Way you go.
Yeah.
Back to you.
But meanwhile, you could have that guy that always comes first. He's going to hit as a yearling or as a 2-year-old.
I agree.
But a lot of times,
sometimes it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Don't ever say, I'm going to kill everybody that came an hour late, or half an hour late, or an hour and a half late, and getting rid of them all, except for those 1 or 2. Because if you're going to fly old birds, you're going to be throwing it away.
And next week, it'll reverse. The sheet will reverse with the birds. The first birds might be the later ones. Go ahead,
Ian Sybil says, ever see that awkward 7-year-old that can barely skate, no coordination? By the time he's 19, best hockey player in Canada. That's like Ryan. You're still in that kind of awkward stage. We're waiting for you to grow up.
Hey, listen, I am, but that's true. That is right. Pigeons and people... everything develops at a different rate. That's why when you go to Europe and you ask them for auction birds, they're always thinking you want yearlings or 2-year-olds. When you tell them you want youngsters, they go, well, why do they want youngsters? Because here in our country, we're so tunnel visioned into, well, the Europeans have bred out of them, they're no good, and that's why they're here. That is the biggest fallacy out there. The Chinese, all people over there, the Europeans, they like birds 2, 3, 4 years old. They like to see what they're getting. They like to see what we call the finished product.
Well, I'll tell you something. Mr. Basket is usually the ruler, okay? But if you get late breds, let's say it's happening.
Hold on.
You get late bred birds.
Richard, hold on. Leah had something to say. Back to you.
Sorry about that.
Close says that he's a small loft and very strict. Price paid does not matter. Soup is soup. Some soup just more expensive. Guido says this famous Polish prince was lost as a young bird. He came home after a year of being gone, was put on the race team, and won 10 races with over 10,000 birds. Hope the owner did not get rid of his parents the first year while he was lost. Right? That's
100% right.
100%. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that happens.
Remember, you know, the pigeon, you know, the sad part is when a pigeon makes a mistake, we don't ever see the mistake. We come home and what do we first thing we say is, oh, that pair is bred garbage, or this is garbage, this is garbage, this is garbage. You don't see the hawk that went through them. You don't see them hit a bunch of wires. You don't see it. But what we do is we imagine what we want to imagine. And you know what? A lot of time the pigeon man makes a mistake.
I say I have more respect for a pigeon if he's flown the races and he screws up and comes home 2 months after that race.
Right.
Comes in.
Well, they learn.
Yeah, right.
They learn one of two things.
I have more respect for a pigeon like that than a pigeon that you send to the race and he comes always 8 hours late, or he comes always next morning.
8 hours
or
later.
2 days later.
Yeah.
You say, holy shit. You were late. Okay, fine. Next week I sent you. You were next morning. Next week I sent you. You were two days late. Okay, wait.
Hold on. I just
you're a joker.
I want to fire something out here. When we went to the first Mont Laurier, and Tavares, Upper Canada loft, he had a bird in our one loft. Right. She was doing real good she was good. Right up there. Mont Laurier, she got blown away.
The first one.
Well, Gonzo.
I lost about 12 that
right. She was Gonzo. She ended up coming back late in the week, worn down the dust.
Right.
She flew and flew and flew.
Right.
Come out of the south, whatever she did. I rested her the 1 week, and then I dropped her back into Mont Laurier, where she had done the big wipeout.
Wow.
And you want to know what? She said in her mind, I ain't doing that again. She's our first bird. She won him some money. I think she finished 5th or 6th overall in the race, which was very nice. But you want to know what? Like you said, that bird realized it made its mistake and said, I'm not doing that.
You know, it was some time ago. I had a hen that I lost her at, I think it was Burke's Falls, the 113 miles.
Yeah.
And she came back, it was 3 weeks after.
Right.
I rested her.
Right. But this is the same story I just said.
Exactly what I'm saying.
But why are we repeating the story?
And then I put her to a tomogamy.
Right.
With it was an open race. We had a little open race.
You're talking about the Kenora hen. You won it in the pouring rain.
Right. Pouring rain. You'd never think a pigeon would come home at that. I started watching at the time. And after that, she flew 4 long lacs and 1 Kenora.
But her life lesson happened in that time when she got lost. That's when she decided, hell, this is pretty damn good here. I get to eat and drink. I got a nice place to live.
But when I started back to training, I gave her a couple weeks off. She came home in great shape because she was gone for 3 weeks.
Right.
I started training her. She came steady, nice and steady. She didn't learn any bad habits. Then I put her in this tomogamy open.
And there she was.
She was bang.
We have Mr. Pino. I can't pronounce your first name. I'm sorry. On YouTube. It says, I'm in the U.S. If I win a pigeon on Feathers Elite Auctions, how do the logistics work to have the bird shipped to the U.S.? That's a great question, Brian.
Not a problem. We do all the exporting into the U.S. ourselves. So normally once a month, we will cross into the U.S. to ship out the birds. This month coming here.
Yeah, we were, if I can just interject, we were just there before Christmas. So this coming month in January will be around the end of January, right, Ryan?
Yes, it'll be the last week of January. We will be heading to the U.S. to ship out birds. So if you purchase birds at the beginning, you just have to be patient and hold off, and we'll get them there. We cross them again the last week of January. We will be crossing. We use the United States Postal Service. We normally ship out on Tuesdays, so you have more than enough time to get them through the post. And remember, all bids are in Canadian dollars, which you Americans save big time on that.
Our auctions start up again on Saturday, starting with Gala Lofts at feathersleypigeonauctions.com. So make sure you tune in for that. That is going to be a great auction, a great way to kick off the year. I can't think of a better person to kick the year off with than Gallo. Guido says he agree. For Dad, agree, Richard. The basket is the ruler. There are bad ones and good ones here in North America and in Europe as well. Absolutely, because they're from Europe, it does not mean they're all great or vice versa. And 100%. I don't think we ever made that claim, but you're 100% right. Although you have to consider the competition factor on birds that compete in Europe and birds that compete here. It's just numbers game. Clearly, the ones in Europe have far greater, more competition than birds here. It's like Mexico. They're doing 40,000 pigeons a weekend. For your bird to win, obviously, it's got to beat a lot more birds than here in Canada, right?
You know, I talk third world country. Pigeon flying here is third world. It is. We're talking there, Aztec Loft, talking with Romeo there, and he says, Ryan, I'm going to take you to a loft in Mexico where I've sent my birds. Are you ready for this one? Mm-hmm. I got 4 loft. The guy has 4 loft managers for 1 loft. 4 loft managers for 1 loft. 4 men are running 1 loft. Now, again, this guy's at the top, right? They got 4 loft managers on 1 loft.
How many birds in there?
Maybe they got 120, 150 birds.
That's about it.
That's about it. 4 loft managers on 1 loft. They're in a different mind. Like, you know where I want to be? Send me to Mexico. They seem to be on the right page here. I'm not being a downer, but their focus levels on racing pigeons.
And they fly against how many?
Meanwhile, you can't go there and drink the water. You get sick. But in pigeon racing, bang, they're right on.
How many birds do they fly against?
Well, they're flying against 26,000, 30,000, 15,000.
Yeah, like we're going to Mexico. We're going to go
Right.
visit. I want to check this out. I got to see this because that is amazing.
When you have 4 loft managers on 1 loft, that's like the Jansen brothers, 7 in 1 loft, right?
Right.
Why though the men are getting results? They're all on the same page and they're all working at the same goal. You know what? That's teamwork right there. You can't get 2 pigeon men together and get them to work right. We seen that up there north of us. What a gong show that was. 2 different men. 4 guys running 1 loft.
If I put my pigeons in with 40,000 birds, I don't think they'll ever come home.
Don't talk about Plugger like that. He can do it.
Best a bird has to be given 4 to 5 years of racing to prove itself. If by the 3rd or 4th year it does not show any spectacular accomplishments, you know the bird does not have special talent. Tony Cesare, does Ryan do pictures for people? Yes, we do. It's $25 a photo. Rita, Mr. Sibold, what pigeon was that? Do you mean this for real? It's possible I don't know if you're serious or kidding with newbies. What pigeon was that? What's he talking about? What's Rita talking about?
You're talking about 4 or 5 years of race experience?
Oh, no. Ian said, I only know 1 pigeon in history that only lays the golden egg. Don't matter what hen he's with. And Rita's asking who that pigeon is. Mike Vanderyak, can Feathersley do an auction for the best Mexican champion? Well, when we get down to Mexico and check out what's going on down there, that's certainly something we can look into. We have to go and see, right?
What do you say?
Listen, I'm going to be going there. I went to Aztec's Loft and I handled some 12 plus pigeons. But then I got to handle pigeons from Mexico. And the only reason I handled those pigeons is because I looked on the floor in those big sections and I said, boy, that small little cobby blue bar cock, he looks super. So you like him. And I handled him. And then he started to give me the background. And every Mexican bird that I had picked up, I went, wow. I can feel These guys are breeding for a type. They're buoyant. They feel very much like the Gallo pigeons. Very streamlined, buoyant, no lead, vent bones. Every one had vent bones that were touching like steel. Every one. He looked at me and smiled, and I said, boy, oh boy, you keep bringing these birds in, you're going to destroy here. And he just smiled and said, yeah, how good are these birds? And I said, this is equivalent to Europe. Equivalent for sure.
So what you're saying is perfect conformation.
Perfect. Even the looks of them were perfect. They were just, and they had big results.
Do you know what the funny thing is there is such a great competition there in Mexico. High numbers, high volume, serious racing. It's funny that we're so close to Mexico here in North America. It is funny why we would go to Europe before we're going to go to Mexico. Do you know? I mean, I think there's a lot of talent in Mexico, undiscovered talent that they have not been given their dues. And I think it's about time an auction site gives them the credit that they're due. And maybe it's Feathers Elite that's going to do it, because I mean, they got the talent, they've got the competition, they got the numbers.
Well,
they're working for Aztec lofts, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, you know, if you're going to go there and you get the birds, you bring them here, and you know, I've seen it with a guy like Carboni. He did the auction for Carboni.
Oh yeah, that's a good example.
The poor man got no respect. Birds for $250. I start laughing. I started laughing. Basically, you want to know? I had to call the guy, and it was the worst phone call of my life. I said, you know, I'm very sorry, sir. I tried to make these people see the light that I seen in Poland, and the light that your results have, and I couldn't get them to see it.
I don't think there's anybody in this country, and probably even in the United States of America, in the last 100 years, had the results that this man had.
The country, their own
there's
country,
not one man here.
Their own country gave him an Olympic
award,
gold medal for what he had achieved. Like, but you know what?
In pigeon racing, and I think you're 100% right. That was an embarrassing one.
Right.
You're right,
yeah.
Ryan.
But like Ryan, like you said, who the hell is he?
You know,
it's like taking Wayne Gretzky to
it's like
to
Portugal.
Italy.
Portugal. It's like Portugal. I found super pigeons in Portugal. What's the common thing they all say? Well, if the birds go with you, we're gonna get no money. We lose our super birds. I don't think these people are going to buy. And you know 100%. What? I feel that in them. I feel that in them. It's very scary because they don't have the name that you know. If you don't see,
I agree with them. Maybe a couple of years ago, I'd say, oh no, they'll give them a chance here. But I do agree. I agree with the Portuguese, the Italian, even Denmark a little bit. I feel a little bit stick the nose up. I'm not interested because you're not from Belgium or the Netherlands or from Germany. And I think that has to change because there's super flyers in other countries.
It's going to change. You know, take, for example, Mo. He's a club member from Morocco. I think he's from Morocco.
Right.
And that's the northern part of Africa.
Right.
He said those birds fly against 36,000 birds. And the terrain is so tough.
The problem, what you're not understanding is
people don't recognize these people.
People like Coca-Cola and they like Pepsi, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many people do you know drink RC Cola? You put that out at a party,
they're going to go.
They won't. It'll be the same.
Taste the same.
Switch the RC Cola and put it in the Coca-Cola can, and go, oh, I love Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Oh, who drinks RC Cola? But Coca-Cola's in that can. People get small in mind. I'm telling you. I went to Gallows. I handled his pigeons. I went, wow. Again, I go, wow. I'm happy to auction off Gallows pigeons. The number one loft of this year. Going to be very hard to beat this man. Hold on. I go to Aztec. Now, Aztec's spending bigger dollars. Birds are still nice, but a different body structure. But then at Aztec, I handle the birds he purchased in Mexico. And I went, wow. This is right back to the Gallo birds. The same I can feel hard-nosed, hard-raced, super quality pigeons. And you know what? That's what I'm looking for. I don't care where. I would have literally, that day, if he would have said to me, do you want to take that one, and that one for the auction? I would have brought them. But you know why I didn't? They were too nice to bring to see them go for $250. So you know what? The local guy around here, you know what he'll say? It's from Mexico. What do they know?
Well, again, I'm going to talk about Mo. I'm going to say this. Mo said 36,000 birds in a race, okay? They fly 500 miles across desert, through mountains, and through whatever. 36,000. Just let me finish. And Mo said sometimes they only get out of 36,000, 1,000 back.
But what?
And you know what? I said to Mo, I said, how do those guys feel about that? Like they lose all those birds. He says they're happy. Those are the best ones. And, you know, that challenge
in these other countries, they look at pigeon racing far, far different than here. Here, again, here in North America, it's all about tailwinds, easy days, and actually it's really about politics. That's really what it comes down to. We're not into really racing pigeons. I haven't seen that yet here. I don't know if we ever will. Because we're not that tight.
Mike Vanderyak, top Belgian birds sold for $100 each not that many years ago. It takes time and marketing to get the big dollars. Guido, not really. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm missing comments here. Well, oh, Tracy. Are the Mexican birds and even gallo birds evolved based on the climate they are racing?
Well, sure. You're everywhere the birds go, they got acclimatized. The one thing I will say about Gallo, why I talk so highly of him, he's won in Africa, he's won in Canada, he's won throughout the United States. I don't know if he's done anything in the water races. I haven't asked him on that. I should say to him, hey, let's go on a team for going across the water, because hell, the first time he enters, he'll probably win. But his birds seem to do very, very well on all different conditions. And when I talk to the man, he is not afraid to take a combine winner, put it and send it to Victoria Falls to compete. He's very different than everyone.
So what you mean
he doesn't use words like can't or won't do. He thinks outside the box.
So he's won combines here.
He's
in Florida.
He's won combines, and he'll send those birds to a one-loft race.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he did that and won, did he not?
He did, yeah.
So
he did very, very well.
He sent a youngster to a one-loft race. It performed in the one-loft race. He brought it back to his place and decided he's gonna send it. What happened? How did he do that? Or it was combine. Ryan, what's the story again? What's the exact story? Ryan's reconnecting his audio. Because it was a great story, and I was surprised to hear it. What did he do again?
He sent his birds to the Chicago Combine. There was an open race there. It was a 350-mile open. His bird finished 29th overall, and Chicago's got some good flyers.
Steady good flyers.
So the bird finished 29th at the 350. He brought the bird back. He liked it. Okay, what did he do? He sent it to Victoria Falls.
In Africa.
The bird went there. The bird going into the final race, it was I believe it was the second best. No, it was the second best American pigeon, but it was the 8th best bird overall, or something like that, going into the finals. I think he lost it. He won some money with it. Regardless, you have to think, probably 6-7 months back, the bird was flying in Chicago at 350 miles.
Halfway across the world.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I said, well, why did you do that? And he says, well, what do I already know? I know the bird can work. I know the bird can beat off a lot of other birds. And you know what? My birds aren't stupid. He has confidence in his birds. Again, that's not out of a book, eh? That's feel. And that's willing to gamble on yourself. That's why this man is superior. He's a superior pigeon flyer in North America. He is probably, I'm going to say this, my number one. Sorry, Ricky, he's ahead of you. Back to you.
Gala Lofts, of course, online auction starting this coming Saturday at feathersleightpigeonauctions.com. Before we close off the show, just want to remind you guys to reserve your purchase. I'm going to just head on over to our website here for a second. Let me put you guys down in the corner. There you are. Here is our website here. If you guys haven't checked it out, we have the interview we did with Gala Lofts when Ryan was down there just before Christmas. You can watch that on our channel. We also have the loft tour at Aztec Lofts up on our Feathersleigh Pigeon Auctions channel ahead of their auctions opening. Gala Lofts, as I said, will open this coming Saturday. We'll have our first open house of the year at our Feathersleigh showroom this Saturday. If you want to handle the Gala Lofts lots, I think there's 12 of them, which I am preparing for auction this week. Also on our website, reminder, our one loft race, 255 perches sold. We have 195 perches left. That means one loft is completely sold out. Working on selling out the second loft. You guys can reserve your purchase here, feathersleightpigeonauctions.com. Just click on View Auction. Our Old Bird Open, for those of you that missed it, we have two options for you guys. We have the $600 for a 20-bird team. That gets you in the prize money, and we also have a $200 option that gets you in the Old Bird Series flying for fun. You can reserve your teams on our website, and of course, as always, our 2022 Pioneer memberships and bands are available for sale on our site as well, feathersleightpigeonauctions.com. Ryan?
That you know what? All good things are that you're saying, Leanne. Remember that Pioneer Old Bird Open. I had a guy said to me today. I said to a guy, "Yo, you should come and fly our Open." Well, I'm in the house league. I'm in the house league trailer, right? And I got to fly all these races over here. I said, "Well, that's great. Well, fly the house league. Get out to 200 miles. Just get them going. Then switch them over, and make those birds work for your 300, your 400, and your 500." Make the pigeon earn you a little bit of money back instead of just a piece of paper. You know, hey, the guy built beautiful nest boxes, widowhood boxes. For what, a piece of paper? For a piece of paper?
Plus his gas money?
He
wore tires out in his car?
Can you let the pigeon show you what it can do and earn you a little bit of something? It's fine. And you know what? If you don't want to, fly it for fun. But you know what, guys? The pigeons, let them help you a little bit.
You know, if I could say something, that gentleman, I don't even know who it was, but doesn't he have any faith in his birds? He just wants to put them on house league trailer for nothing. And you know what?
We're not, you know what?
When you go and buy a racehorse, you take care of it. You do everything you can. You pay money to have a jockey get on the thing and ride it.
And the trainer. You pay the trainer.
And the trainer. And when you go to the track, you got to pay for the housing there and all that stuff. And when you put the jockey on that horse, do you say to the jockey, "I don't give a shit.
Hold on.
Just ride the thing"?
Hold on. Here's my question. Is there a horse race with no prize money? No. Every horse race is bloody money. Because you want to know what? The owner spent the money on the athlete,
right?
And it's there to make him. It's there for him to have fun and enjoy. But boy, isn't it better when we win and we win some money? Isn't that a little bit better than just winning?
You don't see horses go on the track and they say to Buddy riding it, "Hey, Bud, just go for a little ride around the track. Let the other guys
go."
Guido says, can you fly 3 to 4 birds in the Old Bird Open? My entire Old Bird team is less than 20 birds. Ryan?
You can fly as well. We wanted to give people options. If I would have said it's one bird for 600, no, it's up to 20 birds. And there's no discount in the price. There's no discount. It's either you get up to 20 birds for 600 and you're flying for the pot, or it's $200 and you're flying for fun. But one thing I will promise you that there will be a race from Matheson. There will be a race from Hearst. And yes, there will be a race from Long Lac. We will guarantee it. It doesn't matter if it rains there for 12 days. There will be a race from those spots.
Some people have a question. We had a fella ask me.
Leah had something to say.
Oh, okay,
You
go
cut her
ahead.
off.
Leah.
No,
Go ahead.
no, that's right. We will be at all 3 race spots. We will be live. We will show you the conditions. Same way we do with our Young Bird series. Doesn't matter if you got 1 bird in it or 20 birds. Up to a maximum of 20 birds to participate in our Pioneer Old Bird Open. They can be different birds every week, right? Different old birds if you want every week, Ryan. We don't
Right?
care.
That's right. You got to remember, we pay first, second, and third. And remember, it's the first, second, and third champion point birds that are going to make money. We want to get 50 teams. Have them be for fun or have them be for the pot. I promise you guys, you will have fun with this. You will enjoy it, but you have to try it. And you know what? To take your bird down the road and make him dance for 300 miles for a piece of paper, and make him dance for 400 miles for a piece of paper, and then make him dance for 500 miles for a piece of paper, you want to know what I'm going to say? What are we doing? What are we doing?
You know,
But we do have the option. Go ahead, Dad, and then we're going to wrap this up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had one guy ask me. He said, "Is there any age limit on that on these races?" And I said, "There is an age limit.
I know you got to be under 25.
Any bird that's under 25 years old can participate
if
you feel like putting that in. You know, so there's no age. What a stupid question to ask me. Is there an age limit?
There's a guy that wants to put young birds in to do this. All the power to you. I am not saying words like can't. You guys want to come and participate? Come on. Bring whatever you want.
Bring whatever you want.
Young birds are going to do the Matheson, no problem. They'll probably do the Hearst, no problem. Put them to the long lock, you could have a little bit of problem there.
Well, I'm pretty sure most young birds aren't going to do all 3 of those. But you know what? I'm not going to say can't and won't. You try it. You do what you want. You do you. We've too many times we say, no, you're not allowed. No, you're not allowed. It's pigeon flying. You're allowed. Go ahead.
I think that's it for us for tonight. Great show tonight. Thank you guys for the questions. Thank you guys for the input. This show works best when everybody interacts together, and we do appreciate it. Please remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We just hit 2,000 subscribers. Awesome. It's only taken us 4 years, but we've done it, and that is because of you guys. So keep liking, subscribing to our channel. It shows that you like our content and you like what we're doing and you want us to do more. That's the only way we know. So remember, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for your input. Follow along with Ryan over on Feathersley Pigeon Auctions this week. I think you're going to be showing some birds from the Gallo sale and maybe the Aztec sale. You're doing some photos and some eye work on them, I think, this week.
I think maybe tomorrow I'll do a little Gallo video. This Saturday, I don't care where you are in Canada, fly to Toronto. You want to take a look at these ones. These are worth the drive.
Super auction from Gallo Lofts coming up this weekend. FeathersleyPigeonAuctions.com. Great show, guys. I'm going to sign off here from the studio. Ryan, you sign off the show. Have a good night, everyone. Go ahead, Ryan.
Richard, good job. Leah, good job. Audience,
Leah's
great job.
Good job.
Hold on. Remember, 250 purchase sold. Let's get to 300 let's get to it by the end of the week. You guys want a great young bird open or one laugh race? We do the best. We put the most work in. We're the hardest working. We work for your birds. We work for you. We enjoy what we do, inch by inch, brick by brick, mile by mile. You will see us on next Monday. I'll see you tomorrow.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. Thanks for flying with us, guys. Adios.
Have a good night.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Have a great night, guys, and a great week.